Daniel Streich was a rising star in Swiss politics. His journey began with a deep-seated passion for his country and its values. From a young age, Streich was drawn to the political arena, eager to make a difference in the lives of his fellow citizens. His charisma and dedication quickly caught the attention of the Swiss People's Party, SVP, a party known for its conservative stance on immigration and national identity. He was a prominent member of the Swiss People's Party, known for its conservative stance on immigration and national identity. The SVP, with its strong emphasis on preserving Swiss culture and traditions, found in Streich a passionate advocate who could articulate their vision with clarity and conviction. Streich quickly rose through the ranks and became a vocal figure in Swiss politics. His ability to connect with the electorate, particularly those who felt marginalized or threatened by rapid societal changes, set him apart from his peers. He was not just a politician, he was a voice for those who felt unheard. He was a skilled orator who connected with people who felt apprehensive about societal changes. His speeches were not just about policies, they were about emotions, fears, and hopes. Streich had a unique ability to tap into the collective consciousness of his audience, making them feel understood and represented. He channeled these anxieties into political campaigns, one of which targeted the construction of mosque minarets in Switzerland. This campaign was not just a political strategy. It was a reflection of the deep-seated fears and concerns of a segment of the Swiss population. The minaret debate became a symbol of the broader struggle over national identity and cultural preservation. This campaign propelled Streich and the SVP into the national spotlight. The media coverage was extensive, and Streich found himself at the center of a national conversation about what it meant to be Swiss in a rapidly changing world. His ability to articulate the concerns of his supporters made him a household name. This campaign wasn't just about minarets, it was about the broader issues of integration, cultural preservation, and the future of Switzerland. The debate touched on the very core of Swiss identity, raising questions about how to balance tradition with modernity. It reflected a deeper unease within segments of Swiss society, grappling with questions of integration and the changing face of their nation. The campaign highlighted the challenges of maintaining a cohesive national identity in the face of increasing diversity and globalization. Streich's rhetoric, while divisive, resonated with those seeking to preserve a perceived cultural homogeneity. His speeches often invoked a sense of nostalgia for a simpler, more homogeneous past, appealing to those who felt left behind by the rapid changes of the modern world. His prominent role in the minaret debate marked a significant moment in his political journey, laying the groundwork for his future transformation. This period of his life was characterized by intense public scrutiny and personal reflection, setting the stage for the dramatic changes that were to come in his career and personal beliefs. In 2009, Switzerland held a referendum on banning the construction of new mosque minarets. Daniel Streich became a leading voice in this campaign, arguing that minarets were symbols of Islamic dominance and encroachments on Swiss cultural identity. The campaign was highly controversial, sparking heated debates about religious freedom and tolerance. Streich and the SVP utilized provocative imagery, portraying minarets as threats to Swiss values. This tactic resonated with a segment of the population, contributing to a climate of fear and mistrust towards Muslims. The referendum passed narrowly, shocking many both in Switzerland and internationally. The minaret ban became symbolic of the rise of anti-Islamic sentiment in Europe. For Streich, it was a moment of victory as his political career reached new heights. However, this victory was short-lived. The very issue he championed would soon lead him on an unexpected path. Despite his public stance against Islam, Daniel Streich felt a growing unease. He had always been vocal about his opposition, often speaking out against the religion in public forums and debates. Yet, deep down, a part of him felt unsettled. He couldn't shake off the feeling that perhaps he was missing something, that his understanding was incomplete. He realized he had built his opinions on preconceived notions and had not truly engaged with Islam's teachings. His knowledge was based on second-hand information, media portrayals, and the opinions of others who shared his views. He had never taken the time to explore the religion for himself, to read its texts, or to understand its followers. This realization led him on a quest for knowledge, one that would challenge his deeply held beliefs. He began by visiting libraries, purchasing books, and spending countless hours researching. He read about the history of Islam, its cultural impact, and its contributions to science, art, and philosophy. He wanted to understand the context in which the Quran was written and how it had influenced millions of lives over centuries. Streich decided to read the Quran, approaching it with skepticism, but determined to understand the religion he had so vehemently opposed. He started with the intention of finding flaws, contradictions, and justifications for his previous stance. However, as he turned each page, he found himself drawn into the depth and beauty of the text. As he delved deeper into the text, he found himself surprised by passages about peace, compassion, and justice, which resonated with his own personal values. He read about the importance of charity, the emphasis on community, and the call for social justice. These were principles he had always believed in, yet he had never associated them with Islam. The Quran's message began to chip away at his prejudices, and he started questioning the rhetoric he had helped spread. He reflected on the speeches he had given, the articles he had written, and the conversations he had had. He realized that much of what he had believed was based on fear and misunderstanding, rather than truth. He saw a disconnect between the Islamophobia he had promoted and the Quran's message of tolerance. He felt a deep sense of regret for the harm his words might have caused, for the division and hatred they might have sown. He began to see the people he had once viewed as others in a new light, recognizing their shared humanity. This marked the beginning of a profound internal shift for Streich, one that would ultimately lead him to question everything he thought he knew. He started to engage in dialogues with Muslim scholars, attended interfaith meetings, and sought to build bridges rather than walls. His journey was not just about understanding a religion, but about understanding himself and the world around him. It was a path of transformation, one that would redefine his beliefs, his actions, and his purpose in life. As Daniel Streich continued his study of the Quran, he found himself immersed in a world of profound wisdom and spiritual guidance. The verses he read were not just words on a page. They were a call to action, a blueprint for a just and compassionate society. Each passage he encountered seemed to speak directly to his heart, urging him to reflect on his own life and the world around him. He was particularly drawn to its emphasis on social justice. The Quran's teachings on equality, fairness, and the importance of helping those in need resonated deeply with his own sense of morality. He saw in these teachings a reflection of the values he had always held dear, but which had been overshadowed by the divisive rhetoric of his political past. The Quran's teachings on helping the poor and the marginalized resonated deeply with his own sense of morality, creating a powerful connection between his personal beliefs and the spiritual guidance he was now embracing. He began to see his role in society differently, recognizing the importance of compassion and empathy in building a just community. This newfound understanding created a dissonance with the exclusionary rhetoric of the SVP. The political messages he had once championed now seemed hollow and misguided in light of the Quran's call for inclusivity and justice. He found himself questioning the very foundations of his previous beliefs, feeling a growing sense of unease with the divisive ideologies he had once supported. Streich also found himself increasingly troubled by the anti-immigrant sentiment he had once espoused. The Quran's message of universal brotherhood and the inherent dignity of every human being challenged his views on national identity and belonging. He began to see the humanity in those he had previously otherized, recognizing that their struggles and aspirations were not so different from his own. The Quran's message of universal brotherhood challenged his views on national identity, leading him to see the humanity in those he had previously otherized. This realization was both humbling and transformative, as it forced him to confront the prejudices and biases that had shaped his worldview, leading him to see the humanity in those he had previously otherized. He began to engage in heartfelt dialogues with people from different backgrounds, seeking to understand their experiences and perspectives. These conversations were eye-opening, revealing the common threads of humanity that connected them all. This marked a significant turning point in his transformation. He realized that true understanding and empathy required more than just reading and reflection. It required action and engagement with the world around him. He felt inspired to make a positive difference, to live out the values he had discovered in the Quran. Streich's journey wasn't without its internal struggles. He grappled with the cognitive dissonance between his past actions and his newfound understanding. The process of unlearning deeply ingrained beliefs was challenging and often painful, but he was determined to stay the course. He grappled with the cognitive dissonance between his past actions and his newfound understanding. Nights were often sleepless, filled with introspection and self-doubt. He kept a journal, documenting his thoughts and feelings as he navigated this complex inner journey. The more he learned about Islam, the more he questioned the narratives he had helped to construct. He attended lectures, engaged with scholars, and immersed himself in the study of Islamic texts. Each new piece of knowledge further dismantled the misconceptions he had once held. The more he questioned the narratives he had helped to construct, he began to see the flaws and inconsistencies in the ideologies he had once promoted, realizing that they were built on a foundation of fear and ignorance. His personal transformation was gradual, fueled by an honest search for truth and a willingness to challenge his own biases. It was a journey marked by moments of doubt and revelation, each step bringing him closer to a deeper understanding of himself and the world around him, fueled by an honest search for truth and a willingness to challenge his own biases. He found solace in meditation and reflection, often retreating to tranquil settings to gather his thoughts and find clarity. Writing became a therapeutic outlet, allowing him to process.
In the heart of Europe, a seemingly simple vote ignited a firestorm of debate. In 2009, Switzerland, a nation known for its neutrality and peaceful coexistence, found itself grappling with a controversial issue: the construction of minarets. Leading the charge against these towering symbols of Islamic faith was Daniel Streich, a man who viewed them as a threat to Swiss identity. Streich, a staunch advocate for preserving traditional Swiss culture, spearheaded a campaign to ban the construction of new minarets. He argued that these structures represented an unwelcome intrusion of Islam into Swiss society, a sentiment that resonated with a significant portion of the population. The campaign gained momentum, fueled by fears of Islam's growing presence in Europe. Posters depicting minarets as missiles piercing the Swiss flag became a common sight, stoking anxieties about the potential Islamization of Switzerland. The culmination of this campaign was a national referendum, where Swiss citizens were asked to vote on whether to ban the construction of new minarets. The result sent shockwaves throughout the country and beyond. A narrow majority voted in favor of the ban. The minaret ban, however, had an unintended consequence. Instead of silencing the Muslim community and pushing Islam into the shadows, it sparked a wave of curiosity about the religion. The intense media coverage surrounding the ban, coupled with the heated public debate, brought Islam into the spotlight like never before. Many Swiss citizens who had previously given little thought to Islam found themselves wanting to learn more about this faith that had become the center of such controversy. Mosques reported a surge in inquiries from non-Muslims eager to understand the basics of Islamic beliefs and practices. Bookstores witnessed a significant increase in sales of books on Islam as people sought to educate themselves beyond the often biased information circulating in the media. Public libraries organized lectures and workshops on Islam, inviting scholars and experts to share their knowledge and perspectives. The ban, ironically, had inadvertently created an environment where learning about Islam became more accessible and widespread. It was as if the attempt to suppress the visibility of Islam had paradoxically made it more visible. prompting people to look beyond the stereotypes and engage with the faith on a deeper level. The Swiss minaret ban exemplifies a phenomenon known as the backfire effect, where attempts to suppress information or ideas often have the opposite effect, increasing their appeal and reach. This psychological phenomenon is rooted in the human desire for autonomy and the resistance to censorship. When people feel that their freedom to access information or hold certain beliefs is being threatened, they often become more entrenched in their views and more receptive to the very ideas being suppressed. This reaction is driven by a natural aversion to being controlled and a desire to assert one's independence. In the case of the minaret ban, the attempt to restrict the outward expression of Islam inadvertently fueled curiosity and interest in the religion. The ban acted as a form of censorship, which in turn made Islam appear more alluring and worthy of exploration. This phenomenon is not limited to religion. History is replete with examples where attempts to suppress ideas, movements, or art forms have only served to amplify their influence and appeal. From the banning of books to the censorship of music, such efforts often backfire, creating a sense of intrigue and rebellion that drives people towards the forbidden. The idea that suppression can fuel interest has deep roots in history. In ancient Rome, early Christians faced persecution and were forced to practice their faith in secret, gathering in catacombs to avoid detection. Yet despite the risks, Christianity continued to spread, fueled in part by the very persecution it endured. The resilience of early Christians in the face of oppression served as a testament to their faith and inspired others to join their ranks. The catacombs, meant to be places of hiding, became symbols of resistance and faith, attracting new converts drawn to the courage and conviction of those who worshipped there. Centuries later, the Protestant Reformation, sparked by Martin Luther's challenge to the Catholic Church, provides another compelling example. The printing press, a relatively new invention at the time, played a pivotal role in spreading Luther's ideas, despite attempts by the Church to suppress them. The Church's efforts to silence Luther and his followers only served to fuel the flames of dissent. The more the Church tried to control the narrative, the more people sought out alternative viewpoints, leading to a widespread questioning of religious authority and the eventual splintering of Christianity. Section 5, A Leader's Journey, Daniel Streich's Transformation. The story of the Swiss minaret ban takes an unexpected turn when we examine the personal journey of its most prominent advocate, Daniel Streich. In a surprising twist of fate, the man who once viewed Islam with suspicion and sought to limit its visibility underwent a profound transformation. Intrigued by the very faith he had rallied against, Streich embarked on a personal quest for understanding. He began reading books about Islam, engaging in dialogues with Muslims, and even visiting mosques to observe prayers and learn about Islamic traditions firsthand. This journey of discovery led Streich to question his preconceived notions about Islam. He realized that his previous views were based on fear and misinformation, fueled by stereotypes and a lack of direct engagement with Muslims. Streich's transformation from critic to seeker of understanding is a testament to the power of open-mindedness and the importance of engaging with different perspectives. His story highlights the possibility of bridging divides and overcoming prejudices through dialogue, empathy, and a willingness to challenge one's own biases. Section 6. Bridges of Understanding. Faith as a unifying force. Streich's journey underscores faith's potential to serve as a bridge of understanding. Faith emphasizes values like compassion, empathy, and the inherent dignity of all human beings. These shared values provide common ground for dialogue and understanding. By focusing on shared values, we can overcome fear and prejudice, fostering mutual respect and appreciation. Section 7. The Power of Dialogue, Embracing Differences. The Swiss minaret ban and its aftermath underscore the importance of dialogue in navigating a world of diverse beliefs and perspectives. In an increasingly interconnected world, where interactions across cultural and religious lines are inevitable, the ability to engage in respectful and meaningful dialogue is paramount. Dialogue, however, is not merely about polite conversation or agreeing to disagree. It requires a willingness to listen attentively to opposing viewpoints, to empathize with perspectives different from our own, and to engage in critical self-reflection, challenging our own biases and assumptions. Meaningful dialogue involves stepping outside of our comfort zones, acknowledging the limitations of our own knowledge, and approaching conversations with a spirit of humility and a genuine desire to learn from others. It is through such open and honest exchanges that we can begin to bridge divides, dismantle stereotypes, and foster a more just and compassionate world. The Swiss experience serves as a potent reminder that suppressing differences rarely works. Instead, embracing diversity, fostering dialogue, and seeking understanding are essential for building inclusive societies where everyone feels valued and respected. Section 8. Beyond the ban: lessons in tolerance and acceptance. The Swiss minaret ban, while sparking controversy and division, ultimately offers valuable lessons in tolerance and acceptance. It highlights the importance of engaging with different cultures and religions, fostering understanding rather than resorting to fear and exclusion. The ban's unintended consequences demonstrate the power of curiosity and the human desire to learn and explore. It reminds us that attempts to suppress ideas or beliefs often backfire, fueling interest and sparking a thirst for knowledge. Moreover, the story of Daniel Streich's transformation serves as a beacon of hope, illustrating the transformative power of open-mindedness and the potential for personal growth through engagement with different perspectives. The Swiss experience underscores the need for inclusive societies that value diversity, respect religious freedom, and promote dialogue as a means of bridging divides. It is through such efforts that we can create a world where differences are not seen as threats, but as opportunities for growth, enrichment, and mutual understanding. Section 9. A call to action: fostering inclusive societies. The Swiss minaret ban urges us to reflect on fostering greater tolerance, understanding, and inclusion. Building bridges of communication and empathy requires conscious effort and challenging our biases. We must combat discrimination, ensuring everyone feels safe to practice their faith without fear. Protecting the rights of religious minorities and valuing their voices is crucial. Education fosters understanding and challenges stereotypes. Promoting interfaith dialogues and cultural exchange equips future generations with empathy and respect. Creating a just world requires embracing diversity, fostering dialogue,